What's going on, people? Good morning and welcome to United View. Welcome to finally a Premier League match preview. Manchester United are back in action in the Premier League at Old Trafford tomorrow, 8 p.m. against Steve Cooper's Nottingham Forest. I'm happy, man. I'm going to go as well. I'm going to the game. I'm going back to the Theatre of Dreams. I've had a rest. I'm well rested. The World Cup's been great, but this is it. 3 points in the bag is a must. Come on, massive game.
Good.
Come
I'm
on.
glad you put. I'm glad you put. I'm glad you put. Is a must. I thought. I was like, where is this going, Fleck? I know it's nearly a new year. I don't know New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. It's the first game back. Okay, we didn't start the season very well. The second half of the season, we want to start a little bit better. So this is the way to do it. This is. It's one of those weird ones, isn't it? Because you would think on paper, perfect game to come back to. At home,
yes.
Forest struggled this season, bought a load of players, had a lot of turmoil. At one point, you thought Steve Cooper was gone. And then suddenly it was, the expectation he was going to be fired. Suddenly went, he's here for like 3 or 4 more years. You're like, what? So
then they started picking up results after that.
They did start picking up results. And you look, we probably know what the game's going to be a bit like. You know, I know they play quite nice football, Forest, but if they come to Old Trafford and try and play that, they know that they'd probably be in a bit of trouble. So look, it's going to be an interesting one. I think I'm glad that Burnley game came first because I'm feeling a bit more comfortable. Now I feel like the players are back. They're a little bit more, in their groove. Exactly. Marcus Rashford, he's on fire at the moment. Garnacho, he finished the season, the first half of the season in good form. Martial's back. So as I keep saying, there's plenty to be confident and excited about, Flex.
There is from our point of view. And you're right. That's what I was saying in that Burnley game, even in the lead up to it, when, like I said, I was away with Robin. He was like, "I'm so glad we're at the Carabao Cup," and at the time I was like, "Yeah, I got to get back, got to cover a game straight away. Could have done without that." And I was on the plane. I was like, "Actually, no. This is perfect. This is perfect because actually all them other teams are going in cold. Don't get me wrong. They had good preparation, like with winter camp sort of thing. Arsenal went to Dubai, Tottenham went somewhere. We went to Spain. Like there was those things, but then there's still quite a big gap. But now what it did is it gave us a chance to get a lot of minutes in legs, and also like a shorter turnaround, which we're going to be used to. So we're already in our groove of like a game every 3 days because that game was when even was that game? 3 days ago, 4 days ago?
It was 21st. So
right, there you go.
Yeah. But the point being is, I saw Pep Guardiola talk about this the other day, and it's actually a good point. He said actually the people that went to the World Cup, they actually might have a better rhythm than the people that didn't. Because the people that didn't, yes, they've been in training camp. Yes, they had a couple of friendlies, but they're friendlies and it's training camp. It's not like being in a World Cup camp where you're playing games every sort of four
high
days
intensity,
or so.
Obviously, it should always be high level training. But when you're training in the World Cup, you are subconsciously going to be on it versus in Dubai playing against, in a stadium that's not going to be packed and just, it changes things. So exactly that, man. I agree. So there's no excuses for us kind of, not being in decent shape. Obviously, it's Premier League now. Yeah, obviously, one game was a team in the Championship who are a very good team in the Championship. Yeah. The best in the Championship right now. You could argue that the gap between bottom of the Premier League and top of the Championship is not that dissimilar, but we know what Nottingham Forest are going to be like. But if we play, I keep saying this with a lot of games that we play, if we turn up and play to the maximum of our ability or there or thereabouts, we stand at a fantastic chance of winning this game. But you're right, we do have to be on it. It's their first game back in ages as well. The pressure's kind of off them in terms of we're going away to Old Trafford. It's going to be hard. Batten down the hatches, sit back. They'll probably go to a back five, I would imagine. I know they did against Liverpool and some of their other big games. I don't know. Maybe Steve Cooper might have a different feel. He might say, you know what, we'll go for it. Why not? 4-3-3, go for it. Jesse's back against his old team. Let's get him running around a bit, whatever. But I don't know. I think we should obviously be looking to win this game, especially with where we are in the table now. If you look at the fixtures that we've got up until, is it mid-January where it gets, I think we've got like City and Arsenal. I was going to say,
now's the block. It's the block of games where you would say, you know what, you got to be getting results here when you go into those difficult games in January. I think also as well, I saw a stat earlier on that said we're looking for, I think it's like our 6th straight win at Old Trafford or something like that. And we haven't done that since like 17 or something like that. Because our form just in general in recent years hasn't been great. Outside
No,
of the pandemic season where there were no fans, when the pressure's been on, we haven't really lived up to it. So, like I said, I'm feeling good about this game. I'm not deluded enough to think it's going to be easy because I don't think it is.
no
Still
game
yet
ever
to
is.
have. We've yet to have, thinking about it this season, really any game that I can think of, actually, but particularly at home, where it's like, oh, yeah, it was a comfortable 3-0 where Manchester United, there was no struggles throughout the
Yeah,
game. We just don't really have them at the moment. We're not at
no,
that level. We're not at that level just yet. So it's got to be challenging at points. You would say, get a quick start, get a quick goal, and hopefully settle down. But look, the thing is with United, we are entirely unpredictable. We have seen that this season, haven't we? We keep saying if we were more consistent, then suddenly we'd be looking much, much higher. And I'm looking at the Premier League table as well. I forgot that we had a game in hand too.
exactly. That's what I mean. So
It's not been a horrible season. I don't know where this sort of sometimes maybe it's just a social media thing, Flex. But like sometimes you hear this like, oh wow, we're not in the top 4 at the moment, blah blah blah. And I'm looking at going, actually, if you look at our results this season, again, take out those first 2. We're doing all right. We're doing okay. We've got a good team. So again, this will probably all blow up in my face tomorrow. I'll end up on the compilations, but I'm fit. But I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling comfortable in Ten Hag. We trust.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's important because looking at the league, okay, we're 5th now, but with that game in hand over Newcastle and Spurs, and we're 4 points off 3rd with a game in hand, and 3 points off of 4th with a game in hand, and I would say that is again there or thereabouts where I thought we would be this season. I said we'd be around 5th. I said at the beginning of the season we could finish 5th at best, but if it opens up and people don't perform, then there's an
Yeah.
opening for 4th. And that's basically what's happened. Liverpool gone off the boil, Chelsea gone off the boil, Newcastle have entered into there. Tottenham started really good, but a dip in a little bit. You never know with them. So there's an opening. There is a genuine opening for us to get 4th, absolutely, and 3rd,
100%.
and 3rd.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why we shouldn't be realigning our targets to say that's now the aim. Or you can realign. At the beginning of the season, I did say that because I just thought, where we were coming from versus where we want to get to was a big gap. Big gap.
Yeah.
But these next 3 games, if I'm looking at the next 9 points in the Premier League, right? If you're looking at Forest, Wolves, Bournemouth in a row, I mean, again, you can't disrespect any team, and the Bournemouth
No.
game's at home. Can't disrespect any team. Wolves have been terrible, but they do have a new manager.
At the bottom,
Bournemouth,
aren't they?
obviously, yeah, exactly. And it's a home game. And tomorrow's a home game. For me personally, that's got to be 9 points on the board.
Has to be.
It has to be. It has to be. Not a God-given right. Not just turn
No.
up and do
And it's
it.
never
But
that simple,
it's
Premier
never
League.
that simple. But if we've got serious aspirations of cementing ourselves within that top 4 fight, etc. And I'm not saying if we draw one game, it's all over. And I'm not saying that. But even if you lose one game, it's still a good chunk of the season. But it's time to start showing some intent, man. It's time to start saying, well, these sort of games that we need to take care of. We've done all right in the big games, in quite a few of them. We've dispatched of Tottenham really easily. Arguable against Chelsea was quite unlucky. Dispatched of Liverpool, dispatched of Arsenal. And obviously the City game was a nightmare. But, we're a different team from then to now. It happens. We had the blip against Villa as well, and we put that right too. So there are going to be blips. But now I think, we look quite confident against Burnley. It's a good feel-good factor about the place. Injuries in terms of that, we look all right. I think the only situation there is obviously Martinez and Varane aren't back yet. Harry Maguire is back. Yes, that's the only thing. Harry Maguire is back. But I said this when we was away, and it was dawning on me that I think Argentina and France were both going to be at least in the semis. I think I put a tweet out saying clearly they're going to go deep into the tournament, whether it's semi-final or final. So when we get back, the first few batch of games is going to be, Lindelof and Maguire. How do you think we do? And loads of people were like, oh, we're doomed, and it's this and that. And then some people were saying, well, when you look at the fixture list with what we've got for them first,
it's actually good timing. If you'd have had these games against Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, City, basically the games are coming up sort of mid-January towards the end of January. If you had those games coming up, then you'd be like, okay. And again, it's no disrespect to Forest, Bournemouth, and Wolves, but if you're going to pick a few games to not have your best 2 centre backs, you'd probably pick them. And I said before, look, I'm I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh yeah, Maguire absolutely deserves to be the Manchester United captain. He's absolutely good enough to be a Man United player, especially in the way that Erik ten Hag wants his centre-backs to play. I think the jury's pretty much out on that. But at the same time, I do sometimes think it's a smidge unfair, Flex, that this sort of narrative, the guy can't kick a ball. He's terrible.
Well, we can't win a game if he plays.
How has he turned it into? Although that record is not great this season, it must be said. The Maguire one, we've lost more games than winning when he's played.
There's going to be people screaming at the screen saying, "Listen, you guys aren't. You're just being sentimental. The facts are there, and we're the problem." Yeah, but no, but the reason why I'm saying it as well is a little bit of because we need to rely on this player. Like at that point, like all the players in the squad, like especially Harry Maguire. There's going to be points where he needs to play. So we can't just write him off and act like he can't fill in for a game or two. We know.
I remember against West Ham, he did well. He did well against West Ham. It was a game. It was a game made for him. Fine. Yeah, it was a game made for him because it was lots of balls over the top. It was a physical game, and we did concede chances, and David De Gea had to bail us out. But again, that will happen. My question to you, though, Flex, would be after what happened against Burnley, and I know it was very much a patchwork situation having Casemiro at centre back, but Ten Hag loves a bit of continuity. Do you think he would just sort of look at it again and go? Do you think he'd look at it and go, well, he did well last time.
Let me tell you this.
I'll put him there, and then maybe put someone else in midfield. Maybe not McTominay because he was terrible, but maybe he goes Fred.
Owen, let me tell you this: if Harry Maguire is fit, to play tomorrow, right, and he's on the bench and he puts Casemiro centre back again, Harry Maguire needs to phone his agent immediately on the bench, break the rules, and have your phone on the bench and say, "Get me out in January." If he's fit to play, and Casemiro starts at home in the Premier League against Forest at centre back over Maguire, he needs to leave.
What if Ten Hag says, look, he's coming back from illness, touch and go. I know he's been back training. He has been out training with the team.
Is he on the bench? Is he on the bench?
Yeah, he'd be on the bench.
No. The only way
even if they go, look, illness, he's only trained a day or a couple of days.
Then he wouldn't be in the squad. If he's
we need a centre back on the bench. We don't have one.
If he's on the bench, it means he can play. It means it's tactical. Other than that, I'm telling with centre backs.
I don't know. I don't know about that. There's been examples where that's not the case. Europa League final under Ollie, he was on the bench. He couldn't play. He didn't come on.
Yeah, but that was just because they just really wanted him there for the morale and just wanted Harry in because Harry was missing. And actually, to be fair to Harry Maguire, in the lead up to that, when he was injured, we were struggling.
We were struggling.
Remember that when we played Bayern in Lindelof? We were like, tell you what, I hope Harry Maguire's gonna be fit for this final. We need him back. Do you know what I mean? Ironically,
but the point being is, what other centre backs do we have? If he's ill and they go, look, it's just a little bit too soon, but we need someone on the bench just in case one of the other centre backs does get injured. It's happened to us this season. I don't know.
Harry Maguire bench. But he's back for his illness thing.
Yeah, he's back for his illness. He's only trained a day or so.
Illness as well. What kind of illness? Nah, man. He's been playing in England. Nah, man.
Hey, let's not be Fleck MD here. Let's not be Fleck MD. Okay, let's not do that.
Nah, illness. Nah.
Actually, Marcel did it with Sancho once. He went, what? Tonsillitis? Why can't he recover from that? I went, it's tonsillitis, man. It's
yeah, not tonsillitis. That's a bit extra. He said Ten Hag provided an update on the captain's return while speaking to club media on Friday, as well as adding that he is hopeful of Martinez and Varane also being back soon. We had some problems with illness with Harry Maguire, but he was back on the training pitch today, so I'm happy with that. So he was back on the training pitch, and that was yesterday. Today. So he'll be there. There's no reason why he shouldn't be starting. If he ain't fit, I don't want to see him on the bench.
So there's no way he doesn't start, you're basically saying.
Put it this way, Owen. Put it this way. Say, I don't know if he's a little bit thing. What if you put him on the bench, but he's not really there? That's because you're just putting him on the bench for that. And Lindelof gets injured in minute 2.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire has to play 90 minutes. What? That means by putting him on the bench, you're saying worst case scenario. That's what I'm saying. So
that is worst case scenario, though.
Do it.
That is worst case scenario. That's like, we really want to do that. He's going to have to gut it through. Like Varane in the
But
World
he can
Cup
do it.
final when he was
But he
ill.
can do
Then
it.
he was like nearly throwing up on the side of the pitch. That would have to be Harry Maguire because you'd have to do it for the
But he can
team.
do it.
But in
But he
reality,
can do
you
it.
don't.
Do
But
it from the
you
start
don't
then.
anticipate. You don't anticipate Lindelof's going to go down second minute. I mean, that's
He
terrible. It's a
might.
disaster.
He might. Then he's going to have to play 90 minutes.
Yeah, and what if you
If I
didn't have
can't
him on the
rely on him
bench?
to play.
If you didn't have a centre back on the bench because we don't have any at the moment, they're all injured. What would you do then?
Exactly.
What are you going to
No,
do?
but that's what I mean.
You bring on
No,
Maguire.
that's
That's
no,
why you
but
got him
when
there.
you got when you
Smash
got
glass.
forwards,
You don't want to substitute your centre backs anyway. So, chances are it's not going to happen. He's there just as an emergency.
he's starting the game. He's starting the game, or he's not in the team.
For what it's worth, I think he'll start. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But,
And if he don't start and he's on the bench, ring up your agent.
But Ten Hag is not. We've got how long Ten Hag been at the club now? Like 6 months. Like he's like that. He
wants continuity. We're not like that, Owen.
You cannot put it past him. You cannot.
I can put it past him. I can put that. I'm putting that past him.
You cannot.
He only did that because there was nobody. Maguire was ill because we were expecting Maguire to start that game. There's obviously no Varane and there's no Martinez. He had to play him. And actually, we thought it would be Scott McTominay playing there, to be fair.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, we all thought that. But it wasn't. As soon as he can go back to normal and put him back, he's the Premier League. He's not going to mug it off like that.
I'm just
like
saying,
you said, unless Maguire's not fit.
Is that like, what if he just says, Maguire is too soon? Because remember, we're playing Wolves in 4 days, 5 days? 4 days after the game, because it's the 31st, isn't it? Yeah, so 4 days. And he might be like, it's just a little bit too soon. And I definitely want Harry back for the Wolves game. And he might just go, look, Fred, you're back. You can play in midfield because McTominay was really bad against Burnley. Fred, you can play there with Christian. And then, see what happens.
If Maguire's fit, he's playing the game. If he's not fit,
that's my point. That's my point. He might be not fit for 90. If he's not fit for 90, would you play him?
No, he's not. Okay.
What's this all or nothing approach with you? You've changed. You've changed.
Yeah, I have changed.
What's this?
People say, tell me your opinion. I want to know what it is, not no fence thing. I'm saying black and white, A or B.
I don't understand. I understand how you can't get the concept of he might not be fit enough to play 90 minutes. Therefore, if you're a centre back, he might just have to stick with the option that he already had, which was Casemiro.
No, not this time. No, not this time.
There's just, I've only got 45 minutes in me. Right, then you're definitely not on the bench. You definitely can't play at all.
Yes.
We haven't got the squad for that. We haven't got the squad for that. We haven't got the centre backs for that. We've got none.
If he's can't play, yeah. If he can't start the game, he ain't being on the bench for Casemiro.
So you're telling me if he said, or if it was just, you know what, I know I've come back from this illness, but it's 45. I've only got like 45 minutes in me. Then the manager would just go, well, I'm just not going to bother to pick you. Then you're not even on.
I didn't last game. Yeah, well, I dealt with it then. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was really sick last time because I was actually ill at the time. Now I'm recovering.
No,
I'm recovering.
Saw you in training.
I saw you in
training. I went in the news conference and said, and I saw you in the news conference, and I said, I'm glad that you're back. I saw you. You was fine.
Well, that's your fault. That's your fault. You said that to the press. You don't want to
Ten Hag don't say that.
You don't want to put me on the bench to embarrass yourself.
He ain't going on the bench. He's starting a game or he's not ready yet. One or the other. He ain't going on the bench for no Casemiro. I'll tell you that now for free, 100%, million%.
No. I think he'll start, but I'm just saying the possibility. We've gone really down a rabbit hole of hypothetical.
I was just about to say, I don't know why we spent so long on this one thing. Can we talk just quickly before we wrap up? Can we talk about the front three and who should start?
Okay, I think I really liked. I honestly, I know that he missed a couple of I know he missed a couple of chances in the first half against Burnley, but how many times have you said to me, I really like direct wingers? That's probably the most direct I've seen the United front three this season, honestly, in terms of willingness to run in behind. And at points, I know Bruno's pass, not every single time, didn't pay off, and they're never going to pay off every single time because he tries some crazy stuff throughout 90 minutes. But I liked, particularly on Garnacho's side and on Rashford's side, because he's willing to run in behind, is that a couple of times he'd get the ball and you could just see Garnacho go like that.
He's gone.
And he was always trying to pick him out. Same with Rashford as well. Now, I'm not saying that that's perfect for every single game because it's not. Sometimes you do need a bit more nuance. You do need someone like an Anthony that's willing to cut inside or willing to bring more people into the game. That's fine. But I like the way that looked. Now, that's what I do. What do I think will happen? I wouldn't be shocked if it was Rashford on the left, Anthony on the right, and Martial.
I think he goes back to that.
I think he goes back to that.
just because of Ten Hag, you know what he's like with the Garnacho thing. Never wants him to get too carried
Mm,
away. Doesn't want to, make him think he's a starter and all of this stuff. And he did bring him off quite quickly in the second half.
yeah,
It felt a little bit like, okay, kid, you've had a little run out. You could have
yeah,
scored, but you didn't. That's fine. You did well. I want Anthony's legs now back in
yeah.
there. Let's get Rashford back.
Or just
It just felt
a
like
little
it
bit
was
of
that.
a, by the way, next time when you get those opportunities, it's the Premier League score.
Yeah, you know
Okay,
what I mean.
score.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean.
which is
And
good.
that's just us feeding off the energy that we can tell Ten Hag has been given and the whole squad have been given
Mm,
to Garnacho. Every single squad member who talks about him doesn't go too overboard. Whenever
yeah.
Eric Ten Hag's asked about him, even when he's done well, yeah, but he can still do more. Still got to keep grounded. So I think in the interest of that, I think he takes him back out. Probably will bring him on, something like that. But
Mm.
yeah, I think he doesn't start. So right, score predictions. Are we doing them, or is it not new? Are we not doing them, or how do we feel
Uh,
about that?
well, I was also just going to say right back. Do you think Wan-Bissaka starts again?
Yes. Oh yes, yeah. Because I don't even think Dallow's back proper. Like he's back there getting treatment and stuff. We haven't really had a proper update on where he's
Or
at, have we?
do you see Malacia going to right back and Shaw coming
Malacia.
in at left?
I'm going to be honest. I think with the way Wan-Bissaka played the other day, I'd play him again.
I think he
I
might
actually would.
start. Yeah, I think he might
Yeah,
start.
I wouldn't be
But the only
opposed to that.
problem is, I could, and you can so see this, can't you? Him starting, because people go, tell you what, he deserves to start. 10 minutes in, going, why on earth did he start?
Yeah, and if that happens, then it happens. But he's deserved a
Yeah,
chance. He's
yeah,
he's been out of the plans consistently for ages, and Ten Hag has clearly made his mind up on him.
mm,
Then he had illnesses as well, where he wasn't training and stuff like that. So he's been way away from it. And you know what? It just so happens football gives you chances. Coming back from the World Cup, Dallow's injured. Brandon Williams is further behind than you are.
yeah,
And Malacia was starting left back and Shaw wasn't quite ready yet. So actually, well, he was on the bench. So there's a chance for
mm,
you, Wamby. Championship team at home, first game back. What can you do? And I tell you what, he said, all right then,
did all right.
I could do this. I could do this,
Yeah,
Eric. Give you something to think about for the Forest game at home.
mm,
And again, let's not act like we've never won a game with Wan-Bissaka playing.
yeah,
Like, overall across the season and our playing style of where we want to get to, we're saying he's going to be
mm,
surplus. But if we have to depend on one of these players for a game here or a game there, it's not the end of the world. Like if basically our whole team capitulates because Wan-Bissaka plays right back, we're awful. That means as a team, isn't it?
but it might cost us a goal, and that might be the difference. Premier League
Yeah,
fine
but but
margins.
but it shouldn't. Yeah, it could be that one specific mistake. I do understand that, and that is true. But if we're building a decent squad, yeah, and again, no disrespect to Forest or Burnley or whatever, the Man United squad at home as well should be dominating enough to be able to have a Wan-Bissaka in there still, in my opinion. I'm not
Mm,
letting them off the hook like that. You look at the array of players that we've got all over the squad that actually are starting to, play well. Don't get me wrong. When you take out important pieces, it can't like when you take out Martinez, we're different. I get it. When you
Varane.
take out Bruno, Varane, we're different. When you take out Rashford, we're different. Like so, there are players. So I get it. When you take out Dallo, you can, it's not the same as Wan-Bissaka, but for a game or so, come on. So yeah, on that, I'll start him. Anyway,
Mm.
guys, smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are new, get your comments and predictions in the boxes below. Let us
We're
know.
going past predictions.
Yeah, we're gonna go past it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
No.
I think we'll have a positive result.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I agree.
Yeah, we'll
Which is
do that.
worrying if we agree on
Let
that.
us know. Let us know if you think we're going to have a positive result, what the score will be, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Actually, later on this evening, we've got a little bit of transfer news coming out as well, and also tomorrow, match day, man, match day settings, match view, Owen, KG. I'll be at the game, getting the reactions of the guys as well. So it is back to normal. Back to normal. We're out of here, guys. Take care. Peace.